Welcome everyone, I am Autumn Flame, and today we're going to be looking at the Division 2 specializations and skill synergies. Keep in mind that this is just a lot of it my own opinion, and a lot of it is subject to new skills being added, changes to the skills, changes to the specializations, but at this point we're just going to do a bit of theory crafting about how everything will work out. So starting off, we're going to talk about the survivalist. Desperate times ask for desperate measures. Survivalists can control their surroundings using traps and status effects. They equipped with precision crossbow as their signature weapon to take their targets down, even in the harshest of environments. But does a crossbow make any difference against heavily armored enemies? Yes, especially when you are firing explosive arrows that evaporates enemy armor. But dealing damage is not the only feature of that specialization. It can also be used to support the group with special healing skills like the Mender Drone that is further supported by a triage specialist and distributed repair. Besides that, one of the big focus points of the survivalist are the status effects. With the survivalist tactical link, enemies under status effects like burning take more damage, and he can ignite enemies with his incendiary grenades. In addition to that, killing a target under a status effect are also ways to earn special ammo for the signature weapon. Explosive tip crossbow. The crossbow innately is an explosive tip crossbow that is good as heck at cracking armor plates. Skills. General modifiers. Plus 15 protection from elites. 15% increased outgoing healing. 10% cooldown reduction when in cover. Reduce the chance you are critically hit in conflict by 20%. Group members gain 10% damage to targets under a status effect. That is going to be one of the most important things with a survivalist in your group, is having everybody apply as many status effects as possible to as many enemies as you possible. Gaining anywhere from 10% for yourself up to a 40% bonus damages from all sources from 4 people and 80% from 8 people. Weapon modifiers. Incendiary grenade. The incendiary grenade applies burn to targets within the radius. A 44 Magnum revolver with optical attachment slot. 10% increased sidearm damage. 145% increased signature weapon damage. 15% increased shotgun damage. 15% increased assault rifle damage. And a special magazine for 5.556 rifles. This all says we're going to be the survivalist is going to be a very short to mid-range fighter, having a lot of healing and bonuses in addition to having a shotgun or assault rifle build will be your specialization with your gear to either specialize in a lot of shotgun or a lot of assault rifle, whether you be very close or moderate to close with your assault rifle. Skill modifiers. Mender. The Mender Seeker Mine follows allies and repairs armor. Magnetic Disc. Mod to reduce Seeker Mine cooldown. Laria Tridentata Infusion. Mod to increase the healing of the Seeker Mine. Miscellaneous. Distributed Repair. Armor kits now repair over 5 seconds instead of instantly, but the repair effect now applies to team members within a radius of 10 meters. Explosive Bolt Acquisition. Killing an enemy under status effects may drop signature weapon ammo. The group has a signature ammo supply. The group has a chance to gain 1 signature ammo when a target with a status effect is killed. Scraping by. Receive 5 ammo per second for your current weapon when moving from cover to cover while in combat. All of this speaks of a character that is a healer but also does a lot of damage and buffs and at range, which very much reminds me of the D&D class a Bard, which focuses on spell casting and healing and buffs and really isn't a primary damage. Next we're going to be looking at the Demolitionist. Sometimes stealth is just not an option. Demolitionists are agents of chaos, focusing on disrupting enemy plans, entrenched positions, and using a grenade launcher as a signature weapon. The Demolitionist is the designated attacker of the group and is perfectly equipped to tear down armored elites. When you kill an enemy with an explosion, be it grenades by destroying its weak points or blowing him up with artillery turret or well-placed Seeker Mine, you are also rewarded with ammo for the signature weapon. M32A1 Grenade Launcher. The grenades do bounce, so that you can get them behind covers by bouncing the shot off walls and other surfaces. General modifiers: incombustible, increased burn resistance by 20%. Explosive ordnance, 25% increased explosive damage. Effects: explosive grenades and skills and effects. Vital protection, reduce the chance you are critically hit in conflict by 20%. Demolitionist tactical link, group members gain 5% damage to targets out of cover. While 5% damage doesn't really sound all that much if targets are constantly moving due to explosive effects, and especially if they're burning or bleeding because of that, that'd be 15% bonus damage along with the survivalist tactical link. Weapon modifiers: fragmentation grenade. The fragmentation grenade deals damage and causes targets to bleed. Disarray special, a hard-hitting 357 Magnum revolver. The unusual low barrel design firing from the bottom of the cylinder makes for a balance rarely seen in this category of weapon. Gunslinger, 10% increased sidearm damage. Signature weapon damage, 145% increased signature weapon damage. Spray and pray, 15% increased SMG damage gives the demolitionist a nimble close range alternative. Onslaught, 15% LMG damage enables the demolitionist to lay down heavy amounts of fire. Small laser pointer. So it looks like will be either a mid-range LMG or a very short-range SMG. The LMG usually lending more to heavier armored elites than the SMG, but I'm sure with a combination of teams and skills this won't really be too much of an issue. Skill modifiers: artillery. The artillery turret launches ordnance at nearby targeted locations. Cyclone magazine, mod to increase the turret's ammunition count. Shield CPU V2, a mod to increase the turret's damage. Miscellaneous: Exstat armor kit supplementary. Armor kits repair 70% damage and boost weapon handling by 100% for 15 seconds. On completion, an additional 30% repair occurs. That sounds like it would be most effective on an LMG to me. 40mm grenade acquisition. Explosive kills drop signature weapon ammo for the 40mm grenade launcher, except for when caused by the grenade launcher itself. Group signature ammo supply. Multi-kills with explosives grant a chance to gain signature weapon ammo to all group or raid members. Crisis response. When armor is reduced to 0, refills all main weapon ammo. Braced for impact. Ignore explosions. Can only trigger once every 60 seconds. And vanity clothing. In terms of a D&D character, this sounds a lot like a sorcerer or wizard, being a large-scale nuker, taking enemies down hard and fast and in large volumes. This will be a mainstay for all groups at all times, I would say. Sharpshooter, a specialization for agents looking at taking their targets out without them ever realizing what hit them. Sharpshooters change the tide of a battle from afar using a powerful sniper rifle as a signature weapon. This weapon can also shoot through several targets. While the survivalist is the healer and the demolitionist the heavy hitter of the group, the sharpshooter is not only very good at precision attacks, but also as a scout. With the tactician drone you can mark enemies that are in the area. With the flashbang grenade you can stun your enemies and a headshot kills reward you with ammunition for the signature weapon. 50 cal sniper rifle. The 50 cal sniper scope highlights weak points, since the weapon can shoot through multiple enemies and detonate weak points on the way in or out. So far this class sounds a lot like a ranger, being able to scout, provide intel and shoot a very high spike damage. General modifiers: 25% headshot damage, 30% increased reload speed, 30% weapon stability and reduced recoil, increased armor when in cover, reduce the chance you are critically hit in conflict by 20%. Group members gain 10% headshot damage when they're closer to the target than you, and that should be at all times. Weapon modifiers: flashbang grenade. The flashbang grenade blinds enemies. Sharpshooter 93R, a 3-round burst fire pistol. Gunslinger, 10% increased sidearm damage. Signature weapon damage, 45% increased signature weapon damage. This is my rifle, 15% increased marksman rifle damage. Digital scope, for bigger distances. Skill modifiers: the tactician drone marks enemies for all group members. Graphene battery. The tactician drone marks enemies for all group members, adding them to the agents and other allies' HUD, which is incredibly handy and you'll want that up at all times. Miscellaneous. X-Stat Armor Kit Supplementary. Armor kits repair 50% less, but remove status effects and increase bleed, burn and poison resistances for 20 seconds. That seems more of a emergency situation. 50 caliber ammo acquisition. Headshot kills may drop signature weapon ammo except for kills with the TAC 50C rifle. Group signature ammo supply. Kills with the signature weapon have a chance to drop signature weapon ammo for all group and raid members. Round after round, receive 5 ammo per 10 seconds for your marksman rifle and rifle after 20 seconds in cover. It sounds like if you are very good at taking out allies with enemies, I should say, with a sniper rifle, that this will be the one for you. You will be calling out targets, identifying weak spots, relaying that to your team, and using your high crit damage to take down weakened enemies and reduce the armor of incredibly strong enemies. From the looks of it, we'll be getting at minimum, or in under ideal circumstances, 25% increased damage with all 3 tactical links active. I'm unsure at this point if the tactical links will stack. If they do, that will just increase output exponentially, but a 25% upwards increased damage is never something to shy at. Okay, now we're going to look at a list of Division 2 team skills synergies. I've listed all the skills down. In my opinion, none of these skills are bad. Some of them have better team synergy than others. They provide bonuses not just for you but for the entire team. And I've marked them in red for no team synergy, blue for self skill bonus, and green for team skill synergy bonus. And starting off, we have Chem Launcher Fire Starter with 10% extra damage to enemies that are on fire, and special ammo generation for enemies that are killed while on fire. Gives you a really good start off with enemies being able to take damage, bonus damage, and you gain ammo for the entire team. Having a fire starter, even though the chem launcher isn't the best at the moment, fire seems to be the easiest damage type to put out at the moment, so that's what we're going to be working with. The oxidizer is anti-armor, but doesn't really do anything for the team other than some global bonus damage. Right foam, I am unsure if it counts as an effect at this point, so I have marked it red. If it does consider it a stun, I'll boost that up to a green. Reinforcer for the survivalist is blue and green, in that you can heal yourself, and additionally you get bonus healing done from the survivalist, and sharpshooter and demolitionist are basic blues. With the drones, striker is red across all the board, bombardier red for survivalist and sharpshooter, blue and green for the demolitionist for bonus damage and special ammo regeneration. The defender red across the board because it doesn't really help the team in terms of buffs anyway. The fixer blue and green for the survivalist as you get a bonus to heal output, blue for the demolitionist and the sharpshooter. Tactician drone gets a green, getting vision upon all enemies for your team is incredibly handy, and at all times you will want that active. If the instances become random and not set patterns, that'll become more handy than having known patterns. For hives, the stinger again all reds. The next 3 are all boosting, so we get blue and green. I'm unsure if the booster effects get bonus from the survivalist buffs. If it does, it becomes a green. If not, it'll stay solid blue. And the team buffs also are green on the sharpshooter and the demolitionist. Reviver again green and blue for the survivalist, blue each for the other 2. When it comes to seeker mines, the first 3 all explosive damage and nothing for the survivalist and sharpshooter. but for the demolitionist, it is a key item for them, giving bonus damage and special ammo generation when they kill people and in groups. Turrets, assault, standard across the board. The incinerator turret, if anybody puts that down and enemies get burned, that's 10% extra damage, and then special ammo generation for the survivalist and the team. The sniper, again, all across the board, all red, being pretty basic in just its damage. The artillery turret is excellent for the demolitionist and giving self bonus damage and special generation ammo for the entire group. Grenades, incendiary, gives you burning, which is incredibly handy. Fragmentation is bleeding, and flashbang for blinding. The grenades all scale well with the survivalist tactical link and will be helpful at any stage of the fight. From looking over this, we will always want a status effect on an enemy if at all possible. Your sharpshooter behind everyone. I'm theorizing potentially the sharpshooter will be a better person to put the buffs on, because they tend to be doing less from what I can see at this point, but that could change. And the demolitionist is excellent with explosion damage, but may also be handy to throw a few fire starters or incinerator turrets on them in the larger instances to help with the burning damage that we can get here on the survivalist. The only sort of role I'm really seeing a lack of here is a pure defense role. I think we'll probably get a specialist in a defensive position, which will deal with heavy shields, shielding, and blocking enemy damage at a later point. Is a theory, since we have the healer, a ranger sort of long range, and a heavy AoE splash, so I think we'll get some good defender over this position at a later date. I hope you've enjoyed some of this information. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Like and subscribe if you found anything interesting. If you would like to see more of this content, I would be more than happy. I've got my details up here if you would like to find me on Twitter, Twitch or YouTube. Pretty much everything's always going to be Autumn Flame, and I look forward to seeing everybody in DC. Everyone have an excellent day.